The great hall of the Zephyrian Empire was filled with the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Tall, blue-skinned creatures with 4 arms sat in floating chairs around a massive crystal table. Their leader, Emperor Thandros, watched as ambassador. Kethavar of the Crystalline Confederacy placed a small, damaged device on the table. "What you see here," Kethavar said, his voice echoing through the chamber, "was found in the wreckage of an old exploration ship. The ship was floating dead in space near the edge of our galaxy." The device sparked and showed fuzzy images. Strange symbols and numbers flashed across its surface. Most of the alien leaders looked bored. They had seen many old artifacts before. "This data speaks of a species called humans," Kethavar continued. "According to these files, they lived on a small blue planet in a distant star system." Commander Veltar, a scarred warrior with 3 eyes, laughed loudly. "Humans? That old story? Everyone knows humans are just myths. Stories told to young ones to scare them." But Kethavar did not smile. "Look at these descriptions. These beings could live in places that would kill us. They fought wars that lasted for many years. They even kept dangerous animals as pets." The hall filled with whispers. Dr. Ziranem, the Empire's top scientist, leaned forward. Her large oval eyes studied the flickering data carefully. Something about the information worried her. "The files say these humans used weapons that threw metal pieces instead of energy beams," Kethavar said. "They built ships for traveling between stars without the help of other species. Most strange of all, they had something called nuclear weapons." Emperor Thandros raised one of his 4 hands. The room became quiet. "Even if these humans once lived, they surely destroyed themselves long ago. No species so violent could survive." Commander Veltar nodded. "Any race that fights so much would die out quickly. We have ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years, because we learned to control our violent nature." Dr. Ziranem stood up slowly. Her white robes rustled as she moved. "With respect, my lord, these files contain technical information that seems both simple and clever. Their weapons were basic but effective. Their ships were built to last for very long trips." She touched the device, and new images appeared. Drawings of strange creatures with only 2 arms and 2 legs. They had small eyes and weird hair growing from their heads. Some images showed them working together to build massive structures. "Look at this," Dr. Ziranem said. "They show great teamwork. They could unite their entire planet when facing danger. The files mentioned something called the World Wars, where they fought terrible battles but then worked together to rebuild." The other council members looked uncomfortable. The idea that such a violent species could also cooperate was hard to believe. Kethavar activated another part of the device. "The strangest part is their relationship with other creatures. The files show them living with 4-legged beasts called dogs and cats. These animals were once wild hunters, but humans somehow made them into companions." "Impossible," Commander Veltar said. "No intelligent species would live with predators." But Dr. Ziranem was studying the images carefully. The humans in the pictures looked happy with their animal friends. Children played with large dogs. Adults held small cats. It made no sense according to everything the aliens knew about nature. "There is more," Kethavar said. "The files mention that humans came from a world full of dangerous creatures. Massive beasts that could crush them easily. Tiny organisms that could kill them with poison. Weather that could freeze or burn them. Yet they not only survived but became the dominant species." The room was silent now. Every alien leader was thinking about what this meant. Their own species had evolved on safer worlds. They had never faced such constant danger. Dr. Ziranem touched the device again. New data appeared showing strange numbers and symbols. These appear to be star maps, coordinates to their home system. Emperor Thandros leaned back in his floating chair. "Even if this data is real, it is thousands of years old. If humans ever existed, they are surely gone now." "Perhaps," Dr. Ziranem said quietly. "But what if they are not?" Commander Veltar slammed his fist on the table. "Then we should find them and eliminate the threat before it grows. Any species this dangerous should not be allowed to exist." But Dr. Ziranem shook her head. "What if they have grown stronger? What if their constant fighting made them better at war than we are? What if they learned to travel between stars?" The thought sent chills through the council. The galaxy had been peaceful for so long. The major powers kept balance through careful treaties and controlled conflicts. None of them were prepared for a truly warlike species. Emperor Thandros made his decision. This council will study these files carefully. Commander Veltar, prepare a small fleet for possible action. Dr. Ziranem, you will lead a scientific mission to investigate these claims. As the council meeting ended, Dr. Ziranem secretly made her own plans. She would send a probe to the coordinates mentioned in the files. If humans had ever existed, she needed to know if they were still there. And if they were still alive, she needed to know what they had become. The probe would be small and hidden. It would travel to the distant star system and send back data. With luck, it would find only empty space or dead rocks. But Dr. Ziranem had a growing fear that they would find something much more dangerous. That night, as the probe began its long journey to the Sol system, Dr. Ziranem looked at the strange images of humans one more time. Their eyes showed intelligence and determination. Their faces showed both kindness and strength. If these beings were real, and if they were still alive, the galaxy was about to change forever. The probe disappeared into the darkness between stars, carrying with it the hopes and fears of an entire galactic civilization. None of them knew that they were about to discover that some myths were more real than they ever imagined. 6 months later, Dr. Ziranem's probe reached the Sol system. What it found made the alien scientists' 3 hearts skip beats. The third planet from the star was not dead. It was very much alive. The probe's sensors detected massive cities covering the planet's surface. Bright lights showed civilization during the night side. Orbital stations floated around the planet like metal moons. Ships moved between the planet and its natural moon. Most shocking of all, the energy readings showed technology that the aliens did not recognize. Back in the Zephyrian Empire, Dr. Ziranem stared at the data in disbelief. The mythical humans were not only real, but they had built a thriving civilization. Their planet showed billions of life forms, mostly the strange, 2-armed creatures from the ancient files. On Earth, Admiral Jake Morrison sat in his office deep underground. The walls around him were covered with screens showing space around the planet. His gray hair and lined face showed the stress of his job. For 20 years, he had been waiting for this moment. "Sir," his aide said, entering the room quickly, "we have detected an alien probe in the outer system. It matches the energy signatures we have been tracking." Admiral Morrison nodded slowly. Humanity had known about the aliens for decades. Crashed ships had given them pieces of alien technology. Radio signals from space had taught them alien languages. They had been preparing for contact, but hoping it would happen on their terms. "Send word to Dr. Lisa Hoffman," Admiral Morrison said. "Tell her it is time for Operation Silent Watch." Dr. Hoffman ran the Xenological Research Division, a secret government program that studied alien technology and culture. Her team had spent years learning about the galactic powers from intercepted communications. They knew about the Zephyrian Empire, the Crystalline Confederacy, and the smaller alien nations. In her laboratory, Dr. Hoffman looked at charts showing alien territories. Red lines marked hostile zones. Yellow showed neutral areas. Green indicated possible allies. But most of the map was gray, meaning unknown. The aliens believe they rule the galaxy through something called inevitable supremacy, she explained to a group of military officers. Each major power thinks they are naturally better than everyone else. They keep peace by balancing against each other. President Martin Cole listened to the briefing through a secure video link. His face was serious as he learned about humanity's place in the galactic order. According to alien law, humans did not exist. They had no rights, no territory, and no protection. "What are our options?" President Cole asked. Admiral Morrison stepped forward. "We could strike first. Our ships are ready. We have been building them using alien technology for 15 years. We might be able to hurt them badly before they organize." But Dr. Hoffman shook her head. "The aliens have thousands of ships and control hundreds of worlds. Even if we win the first battle, they would eventually overwhelm us." President Cole made a difficult choice. "We will watch and learn. Send our best people to follow their probe when it returns home. We need to know what we are facing." Captain Ryan Hayes commanded the UES Phantom, one of humanity's most advanced stealth ships. His crew was small but highly trained. Elena Rodriguez handled communications and could speak 12 alien languages. Ben Carter managed weapons and made sure they stayed invisible to alien sensors. The Phantom followed Dr. Ziranem's probe as it began its journey back to alien space. The human ship used stolen alien technology, combined with human engineering. It could hide from almost any scanner and travel faster than most alien vessels. "This is incredible," Elena said, listening to alien radio chatter. "They are talking about us like we are monsters from their worst nightmares." Ben Carter checked his instruments. "Good thing they cannot see us. Some of these alien ships have enough firepower to crack a moon." Captain Hayes studied the star maps on his screen. Each dot represented an alien world with millions or billions of inhabitants. Humanity's single planet seemed very small compared to the vast alien empires. But as they traveled deeper into alien territory, the humans began to notice something important. The aliens were not as united as they appeared. Old grudges and territorial disputes created cracks in their alliances. Some alien species feared others. Some hated their supposed allies more than their enemies. Elena intercepted a message between two alien commanders. "Listen to this," she said. "The Crystalline Confederacy is building new warships without telling the Zephyrian Empire. They do not trust each other." This gave Captain Hayes an idea. If the alien powers were divided, maybe humanity could use that division to survive. They did not need to fight all the aliens at once. They just needed to be smart about which ones to fight and when. Dr. Hoffman studied the intelligence reports from the Phantom. The alien civilizations were old and set in their ways. They had not fought a real war in hundreds of years. Their tactics were outdated and their leaders were slow to make decisions. "They have grown soft," she told Admiral Morrison. "They have been at peace so long that they have forgotten how to adapt quickly." Humanity, on the other hand, had never known true peace. Wars, natural disasters, and social conflicts had forced humans to constantly change and improve. While the aliens had grown comfortable, humans had grown stronger. The probe reached Zephyrian space and transmitted its shocking data. Dr. Ziranem received confirmation that humans were not myths, but a real and active civilization. The news spread quickly through the alien government. Emperor Thandros called another emergency meeting. The council chamber was filled with worried alien leaders. The discovery of humans had shattered their understanding of the galaxy. "They have achieved spaceflight," Dr. Ziranem reported. "Their technology is different from ours, but appears to be effective. Their planet shows signs of surviving multiple disasters that should have destroyed them." Commander Veltar pounded the table with his fist. "We must destroy them now, before they become too strong to stop." But other voices disagreed. Some wanted to study the humans first. Others suggested trying to make contact. The alien council was divided, just like their entire civilization. Meanwhile, Captain Hayes and his crew continued their secret mission. They planted tiny sensors near alien communication stations. They recorded military movements and political discussions. Most importantly, they learned the locations of major alien bases and fleets. "We are like ghosts watching giants," Elena observed. "They know something is there, but they cannot find us." The aliens had indeed detected signs of being watched. Strange energy readings appeared near their ships. Communications were occasionally interrupted by unknown interference, but their sensors could not locate the source. Dr. Ziranem became suspicious that the humans were more advanced than anyone realized. If they could send invisible ships to spy on alien territories, what other capabilities did they possess? As weeks passed, the tension in alien space grew stronger. Fleets began moving toward human territory. Weapons were prepared for possible war, but the aliens were still treating humans like a single planet that could be easily conquered. Back on Earth, President Cole received the intelligence reports from Captain Hayes. The alien response was exactly what Dr. Hoffman had predicted. They were preparing for war, but they were underestimating human capabilities. "They think we are primitives with a few stolen ships," Admiral Morrison said. "They have no idea what we have really accomplished." The truth was that humanity had been busy for decades. Using alien technology as a starting point, human engineers had created ships that were faster, more maneuverable, and harder to detect than anything in the alien fleets. Human weapons were designed specifically to fight alien vessels. Most importantly, humans had something the aliens had lost long ago: the ability to work together when facing extinction. Every nation on Earth had contributed to the secret space program. Scientists, soldiers, and workers had united for the survival of their species. Dr. Hoffman looked at the latest reports from alien space. The enemy fleets were large and powerful, but they were also predictable. The aliens followed ancient battle plans and rigid command structures. They had forgotten how to be creative in warfare. "They are about to learn," she told President Cole, "that some myths are more dangerous than reality." The data from Dr. Ziranem's probe created panic throughout the galactic community. In council chambers across dozens of worlds, alien leaders struggled to understand what the discovery of humans meant for their carefully ordered universe. Emperor Thandros called the largest gathering of alien powers in 300 years. Representatives from every major civilization arrived at the neutral space station orbiting the ancient world of Nexus Prime. The station was enormous, built to house thousands of different species during important meetings. The Crystalline Confederacy sent their Supreme Chancellor Korthis, a being made of living crystal who communicated through light patterns. The Hegemony Fleet was represented by Admiral Kesaval, a reptilian warrior with scales that changed color with his emotions. Dozens of smaller species sent their best diplomats and military leaders. "The humans are real," Dr. Ziranem announced to the assembled delegates. "Our probe confirmed they have built a technological civilization. Their planet shows evidence of surviving disasters that would have ended most species." She activated a holographic display showing images from Earth. The aliens stared in amazement at the massive cities, the orbital structures, and the clear signs of a thriving civilization. "Look at these energy readings," Dr. Ziranem continued. "They are using power sources we do not recognize. Their orbital facilities are built with materials that do not match any known technology." Commander Veltar's scales turned dark red with anger. "This proves they are dangerous. We should combine all our fleets and destroy them before they can threaten us." But Supreme Chancellor Korthis flashed patterns of caution. "We should study them first, learn their capabilities, understand their intentions. Rushing into war could be disastrous." The debate continued for hours. Some aliens wanted immediate military action. Others preferred careful observation. A few even suggested trying to make peaceful contact. The galactic community was splitting apart over what to do about humanity. Meanwhile, Captain Hayes and his expanded fleet of stealth ships continued their secret operations. The humans now had dozens of invisible vessels watching alien activities. Throughout the galaxy, what they discovered was both encouraging and terrifying. "The aliens are not as united as they pretend," Elena reported during a secure communication with Earth. "The Zephyrian Empire and Crystalline Confederacy are secretly building forces to fight each other. They fear humans, but they fear each other more." Ben Carter had been monitoring alien military communications. "Their technology is impressive, but their tactics are ancient. They fight like they are still using swords and shields, just with energy weapons instead." Dr. Hoffman analyzed the intelligence reports in her underground laboratory. The aliens had superior numbers and firepower, but they had critical weaknesses. Their command structures were slow and bureaucratic. Their leaders spent more time arguing than planning. Most importantly, they had not fought a real war in so long that their skills had grown rusty. "They are like a giant who has been sleeping for centuries," she told Admiral Morrison. "Strong but slow to wake up." The humans also discovered something else important. The aliens were terrified of change. Their civilizations had remained the same for thousands of years. The idea of a new species rising to challenge them was their worst nightmare. Admiral Morrison used this knowledge to plan humanity's strategy. "We will not fight them the way they expect. We will be unpredictable. We will force them to react instead of letting them set the terms." President Cole approved a new phase of Operation Silent Watch. Human agents would begin subtle sabotage. Operations, not to cause real damage, but to make the aliens even more paranoid and divided. Captain Hayes received orders to plant false evidence that different alien factions were spying on each other. Elena used her communication skills to send fake messages between alien commanders. Ben Carter arranged for alien sensor equipment to malfunction at critical moments. The effects were immediate. Already suspicious alien leaders became convinced. Their allies were betraying them. The Zephyrian Empire accused the Crystalline Confederacy of sharing human intelligence with their enemies. Smaller alien nations began choosing sides for conflicts that had not even started yet. Dr. Ziranem watched the growing chaos with worry. She had studied human records more carefully than anyone else, and what she found frightened her. The humans had a talent for psychological warfare that no alien species possessed. They do not just fight with weapons, she warned Emperor Thandros. They fight with ideas. They turn enemies against each other. They make their opponents defeat themselves. But the Emperor was too busy dealing with accusations from other alien leaders to listen carefully. The Crystalline Confederacy was demanding explanations for suspicious activities near their borders. The Hegemony fleet was mobilizing for what they claimed was defensive action. On Earth, military factories worked around the clock. Human engineers had spent decades studying alien technology, but now they were improving it in ways the aliens had never imagined. Human ships were being built with adaptive armor that could change its properties during battle. Human weapons were designed to learn from each shot, becoming more accurate with every target. Most importantly, human crews were training for a type of warfare the aliens could not understand. While alien ships followed predictable formations and tactics, human vessels practiced fluid, creative combat techniques. They learned to work together like parts of a single organism. Dr. Hoffman briefed President Cole on the latest developments. The alien fleets are moving toward our territory, but they are also watching each other. They are more afraid of being betrayed by their allies than they are of fighting us. Admiral Morrison pointed to tactical displays showing alien fleet movements. They are bringing massive force, but they are not coordinating well. Each faction wants to be the one that claims victory over humanity. This gave President Cole an idea that was both brilliant and terrifying. Instead of waiting for the aliens to attack Earth, humanity would do something no one expected. They would reveal themselves to the entire galaxy at once, in a display of power that would force the aliens to reconsider everything they thought they knew about warfare. "We will build the largest fleet in galactic history," President Cole announced, not to conquer, but to negotiate from a position of strength. The plan was ambitious beyond anything humanity had ever attempted. They would construct hundreds of warships using their most advanced technology. The fleet would appear simultaneously in multiple alien systems, demonstrating that humans could project power anywhere in the galaxy. But building such a fleet required resources and cooperation on an unprecedented scale. Every nation on Earth would need to contribute. Every human would need to work toward the same goal. Dr. Hoffman was amazed by what happened next. Despite their long history of conflicts, humans began working together like never before. Old enemies became allies. Competing nations shared technology and resources. Workers volunteered for dangerous jobs building ships in space. This is what the aliens cannot understand, she realized. Humans become stronger when they face extinction. Pressure turns them into something greater than the sum of their parts. As the human fleet took shape, Captain Hayes continued monitoring alien activities. The enemy forces were impressive, but they were also showing signs of the division and paranoia that human psychological operations had encouraged. "They are bringing everything they have," he reported, "but they do not trust each other enough to work together effectively." Elena intercepted communications between alien commanders that confirmed their suspicions. "Listen to this argument between a Zephyrian admiral and a crystalline general. They are fighting about who should lead the attack on Earth. Neither one wants the other to get credit for victory." The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the future of the galaxy. The aliens were coming with overwhelming force, expecting to crush a primitive species that had gotten lucky with stolen technology. They had no idea they were about to face an enemy that had turned survival into an art form. Dr. Ziranem made one last attempt to warn her leaders about the danger they were walking into. "The humans are not what we think they are," she told the War Council. "They are something new in the galaxy, something we have never faced before." But her warnings were ignored. The alien fleets continued their advance toward Earth, confident in their power and certain of victory. They were about to learn that some myths were real, and some realities were more terrifying than any myth. The detection of human surveillance triggered the largest military mobilization in galactic history. Across hundreds of worlds, alien fleets prepared for what their leaders believed would be a simple war against primitive creatures who had stolen some advanced technology. Admiral Kesseval commanded the combined alien forces from his massive flagship, the Eternal Dominion. The ship was 5 kilometers long and carried enough firepower to destroy entire moons. Around it, thousands of other vessels formed the greatest armada the galaxy had ever seen. "The humans have been watching us like insects studying giants," Admiral Kesseval told his staff. His scales shifted from green to bright orange, showing his excitement for battle. "Soon they will learn what happens to insects who annoy their betters." But even as the alien fleets gathered, cracks appeared in their alliance. The Zephyrian Empire wanted to lead the attack and claim the glory of victory. The Crystalline Confederacy insisted on joint command. Smaller alien nations argued about who would get what territory after Earth was conquered. On Earth, the Global Defense Council faced the most difficult decision in human history. Admiral Morrison stood before a room, full of world leaders, his uniform bearing the flags of dozens of nations working together for the first time. "Our scouts report alien fleets massing at the edge of our system," he announced. "Conservative estimates put their numbers at over 3,000 ships. They have enough firepower to turn Earth into space dust." President Cole studied the tactical displays with grim determination. The alien force was overwhelming, but humanity had one advantage the enemy did not expect. For the past year, Earth's shipyards had been working on the most ambitious project in human history. "How many ships do we have ready for Operation Thunderclap?" President Cole asked. Admiral Morrison smiled for the first time in weeks. 850 vessels, sir, all equipped with our latest technology, all crewed by volunteers who know exactly what they are fighting for." Dr. Hoffman presented her final intelligence report to the assembled leaders. "The aliens expect us to hide behind Earth's defenses and wait for them to attack. They have no idea we can project force across the galaxy. When our fleets appear in their home systems, it will completely change their understanding of this war." The plan was simple in concept, but incredible in execution. Instead of fighting defensively, humanity would launch simultaneous attacks on 17 different alien systems. The goal was not conquest, but demonstration, showing the aliens that humans could strike anywhere at any time. Captain Hayes received new orders from Admiral Morrison. His stealth ships would guide the human fleets to their targets while maintaining communication links across impossible distances. Human quantum communication technology allowed real-time coordination between ships thousands of light-years apart. "This is either the most brilliant strategy in military history or the most spectacular suicide mission ever attempted," Ben Carter observed as he prepared the Phantom for its role in the operation. Elena Rodriguez had spent months learning the locations of alien command centers and communication hubs. "If we can hit their headquarters simultaneously, we can paralyze their ability to coordinate a response." The human fleet took shape in the outer solar system, hidden behind the gas giant Jupiter. The ships were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. They were smaller than alien vessels, but faster and more maneuverable. Their hulls were made of adaptive materials that could change properties during battle. Their weapons were designed to exploit specific weaknesses in alien technology. Admiral Morrison took command of the flagship UES Constitution, named after the document that had united humanity's first democracy. His crew represented every nation on Earth, working together with a unity that would have amazed the aliens who saw humans as chaotic and uncontrollable. Ambassador Karen Phillips prepared for what might be the most important diplomatic mission in history. While the military demonstrated human power, she would offer the aliens something they had never considered: partnership instead of domination. "We are not going to conquer them," she explained to her diplomatic team. "We are going to show them that the galaxy is big enough for everyone if we work together." As the human fleet made final preparations, alien forces continued their advance toward Earth. Admiral Kesseval was confident that his overwhelming numbers would ensure victory. He had divided his forces into 3 groups, planning to attack from different directions and crush any resistance. But the alien admiral had no idea that human agents were still watching his every move. Captain Hayes transmitted real-time intelligence about alien battle plans to the human fleet commanders. The aliens' every strategy was known before they could implement it. Dr. Ziranem made one final attempt to warn the alien leadership about the danger they faced. She had studied human history more thoroughly than anyone else and had discovered something terrifying. Humans had never lost a war when their survival was at stake. "They have a saying," she told Emperor Thandros, "death before dishonor." They would rather die fighting than live as slaves. This makes them incredibly dangerous opponents. But the Emperor was too focused on the coming victory to listen to warnings. The alien leadership had convinced themselves that humans were just another primitive species that could be easily conquered and enslaved. Meanwhile, human shipyards completed the final vessels for Operation Thunderclap. The fleet was a masterpiece of human engineering and cooperation. Ships built in American yards carried weapons designed in Russia. Vessels constructed in China used defensive systems developed in Europe. The entire planet had united for this moment. The most remarkable aspect of the human fleet was its diversity. Unlike alien vessels that followed rigid designs, each human ship was unique. Engineers had been encouraged to experiment and innovate. The result was a fleet where no two vessels were exactly alike, making it impossible for enemies to predict their capabilities. Dr. Hoffman gave her final briefing to the fleet commanders. Remember, the aliens think in terms of hierarchy and dominance. They expect us to follow their rules of warfare. Our greatest advantage is that we will not do what they expect. As the alien fleets entered the outer edge of the solar system, they detected the first signs of human military presence. Patrol ships engaged in brief skirmishes with alien scouts, demonstrating tactics and technologies that confused the enemy. "Commanders, these humans fight like no species we have encountered," reported a crystalline captain after his ship barely escaped from a human patrol. "Their vessels move in ways that should be impossible. Their weapons adapt during combat." Admiral Keseval dismissed such reports as exaggeration from nervous crews. He had seen the intelligence reports about human technology. They had stolen some alien designs and made minor improvements. His forces had overwhelming superiority in numbers and firepower. But as more alien ships encountered human patrols, a pattern emerged that worried the more experienced alien commanders. The humans were not fighting to win these small battles. They were testing alien responses, learning how their enemies thought and reacted. Captain Hayes observed the alien advance from his concealed position near Neptune. "They are walking into a trap they cannot see," he reported to Admiral Morrison. "Their formations are exactly what our tactical computers predicted." The stage was set for the most decisive moment in galactic history. The aliens approached Earth with confidence in their overwhelming power. The humans prepared to launch the most audacious military operation ever conceived. Neither side fully understood what they were about to unleash. In a few hours, the galaxy would learn that myths could become reality, and reality could be more shocking than any myth. The age of alien dominance was about to end, and the age of human influence was about to begin. As the human fleet began its jump to the target systems, Admiral Morrison sent a final message to President Cole. "Operation Thunderclap is go. See you on the other side of history." At exactly 0800 Galactic Standard Time, the impossible happened. Human fleets appeared simultaneously in 17 star systems across the galaxy, materializing from hyperspace in perfect formation around alien homeworlds. The coordination required for such an operation was beyond anything the aliens had thought possible. In the Zephyrian capital system, Admiral Morrison's fleet emerged from hyperspace like ghosts becoming solid. 150 human warships surrounded the Empire's most heavily defended planet in mere seconds. The local defense forces, caught completely unprepared, scrambled to respond to what appeared to be an invasion. Emperor Thandros watched from his palace as strange ships filled the space around his world. The human vessels were smaller than he expected, but they moved with a fluid grace that made his defensive fleet look clumsy by comparison. Most disturbing of all, the humans made no aggressive moves. They simply waited in perfect formation. "Admiral, Keseval received emergency reports from across the galaxy. Human fleets had appeared at the Crystalline Confederacy's capital, the Hegemony Fleet's main base, and dozens of other critical systems. The scope of the operation was staggering. How? "Is this possible?" Admiral Keseval demanded, his scales turning black with shock. "Our intelligence said they had only a few dozen ships. Where did this fleet come from?" But before anyone could answer, a message began broadcasting on all alien communication frequencies. Ambassador Karen Phillips appeared on screens throughout the galaxy, speaking in perfect Zephyrian, crystalline, and a dozen other alien languages. "People of the galaxy," she began, her voice calm and clear. I am Ambassador Phillips of the United Earth Government. We come not as conquerors, but as neighbors seeking recognition and peaceful relations. The message sent shockwaves through alien leadership. The humans were not attacking. They were demanding diplomatic recognition while demonstrating overwhelming military capability. It was a strategy no alien civilization had ever seen before. Emperor Thandros found himself in the unprecedented position of having an enemy fleet in his capital system that was asking for a meeting instead of demanding surrender. His military advisors urged immediate attack, but the tactical situation made that impossible. The human ships had positioned themselves perfectly to defend against any assault. "They want to talk?" Commander Veltar snarled, his weapons systems trained on the nearest human vessel. "This is a trick. No species reveals their full military strength just to start negotiations." But Dr. Ziranem had been studying the human formations carefully. "Look at their positioning," she said. "They could have destroyed our orbital installations before we knew they were there. Instead, they chose locations that protect our infrastructure. They really do want to negotiate." Admiral Morrison stood on the bridge of the Constitution, watching alien ships slowly surround his fleet. His tactical displays showed thousands of alien vessels throughout the system, but none of them were in position to attack effectively. The humans had chosen their arrival points perfectly. "Admiral," Captain Hayes reported from the Phantom, "alien command frequencies are going crazy. They cannot figure out how we coordinated this operation across such distances." The answer was quantum communication technology that allowed instantaneous coordination between human ships regardless of distance. While aliens relied on faster-than-light messages that still took time to travel, humans could communicate in real time across the entire galaxy. Elena Rodriguez monitored alien conversations with growing amazement. "They are terrified," she reported, "not just of our ships, but of what our capabilities mean for their understanding of warfare." Ambassador Phillips's diplomatic team prepared for the most important negotiations in galactic history. They had studied alien psychology for decades and understood exactly how to approach each species. The key was offering partnership instead of domination. In the Crystalline Confederacy's capital system, Supreme Chancellor Kor Thys found himself facing a human fleet that had appeared around his homeworld without warning. The crystalline beings, light patterns flickered with confusion and fear as he tried to understand what was happening. The human commander in that system, Admiral Sarah Watson, opened communication channels. "Chancellor Kor Thys, we request formal diplomatic recognition and the establishment of peaceful relations between our peoples." The fact that the humans knew his name and spoke his language perfectly demonstrated intelligence-gathering capabilities that frightened every alien leader. How long had the humans been watching them? What else did they know? Dr. Hoffman monitored the operation from Earth, coordinating intelligence and diplomatic efforts across 17 different alien systems. The psychological impact of the simultaneous arrival was exactly what she had predicted. The aliens were more shocked by the coordination than by the military power. "They are used to thinking in terms of slow, ponderous movements of massive fleets," she explained to President Cole. "The idea that we can appear anywhere instantly terrifies them more than our weapons." But not all aliens were ready to accept the new reality. Commander Veltar, unable to tolerate the idea of negotiating with the mythical humans, ordered his squadron to attack the nearest human ships. It was a decision that would demonstrate the full extent of human military evolution. The battle was brief and one-sided. Human vessels moved with impossible agility, dodging energy beams that should have destroyed them. Their adaptive armor changed properties to absorb different types of weapons. Most remarkably, they fought as if controlled by a single mind, with perfect coordination between ships. Captain Hayes, commanding a battle group in support of the Constitution, demonstrated human tactics that left alien observers stunned. Instead of destroying Veltar's flagship, he systematically disabled its weapons and engines, then offered medical assistance to the damaged vessel. "This is Captain Hayes of the United Earth Navy," he broadcast to the disabled alien ship. "We are prepared to provide medical aid and engineering assistance. We seek no vengeance, only understanding." The gesture of mercy in the midst of battle sent a powerful message throughout alien space. The humans were not just militarily superior, they were fighting according to moral principles that the aliens had forgotten. Admiral Keseval, watching the engagement from his command ship, realized that everything the aliens thought they knew about warfare was obsolete. They disable, rather, then destroy. They offer aid to defeated enemies. They fight with honor we have not seen in 1,000 years. The climax of the operation came when Ambassador Phillips requested a direct meeting with Emperor Thandros. The alien ruler, faced with a human fleet in his capital system and evidence of military superiority he could not match, agreed to formal negotiations. The meeting took place aboard a neutral space station, with representatives from every major galactic power in attendance. Ambassador Phillips entered the chamber carrying documents that would reshape galactic civilization. "We propose the Terran Accords," she announced, placing the treaty on the conference table. "A framework for peaceful coexistence and mutual cooperation between humanity and all galactic civilizations." The treaty offered something revolutionary: partnership instead of domination. Humans would share their technological innovations in exchange for recognition as an equal galactic power. Trade agreements would benefit all species. Joint exploration missions would open new frontiers. Most importantly, the Accords established the principle that no species had the right to dominate others. The old system of inevitable supremacy would be replaced by voluntary cooperation and mutual respect. Dr. Ziranem was the first alien leader to sign the document. "The humans are not our conquerors," she declared. "They are our teachers. They have shown us that strength comes not from domination, but from unity." One by one, other alien leaders added their signatures. Even those who feared humanity recognized that cooperation was preferable to destruction. The humans had demonstrated that they could project power anywhere in the galaxy, but they chose to use that power for creation rather than conquest. Emperor Thandros was the last to sign, his 4 hands shaking as he added his name to the historic document. "The Age of Empire is over," he admitted. "The Age of Cooperation has begun." The signing of the Terran Accords marked the end of one era and the beginning of another. Within months, human and alien crews were working together on joint missions. Human medical technology extended alien lifespans. Alien scientific knowledge accelerated human exploration of the universe. Captain Hayes found himself commanding mixed crews of humans and aliens, exploring regions of space that no one had seen before. The prejudices and fears that had dominated galactic politics for millennia began to fade as different species learned to work together. Dr. Hoffman established the Galactic Research Institute, where scientists from dozens of worlds collaborated on projects that benefited everyone. The exchange of ideas and technologies created innovations that no single species could have achieved alone. But perhaps the most important change was philosophical. The humans had introduced concepts that transformed how aliens thought about themselves and their place in the universe. Competition was replaced by cooperation, fear was replaced by curiosity, stagnation was replaced by growth,